So it's designed basically for like 4-man cooperative play. We'll set a maximum number of players at somewhere between 6 and 8. And it's really just a matter of preference for how much you like in there. You'll be able to use our mod tool to up that number if you really want to. But it gets crowded. So you're going down into one of the very, very many types of underground dungeons now that if you've played Torchlight 1, these will be more familiar looking places. We are working with the same basic graphics engine and technology as Torchlight 1, so it should run on your old laptops just like Torchlight 1 did. It's a little bit more detailed now, but we've also added some optimizations, so the performance should be very similar to Torchlight 1. I know I said this earlier, but we're offering internet multiplayer and local area network multiplayer, as well as single-player offline mode. And you can use the same character to go between all of those. We'll release on PC first, and then immediately start into the Mac port, and proceed to get all the language translations in. We have ideas for a console version, but we're kind of reserving our plans just to see what happens after release. It might make sense to do an expansion for this. We might be completely sick of Torchlight and have to do something else just to clear our heads for a little while. We might want to make the Torchlight MMO right away. So we're kind of reserving our options for what happens after this. But we will definitely do a Mac port and get all the language translations out. We'll release sometime this fall or early winter, like October, November-ish. We don't set a date because we're really bad at predicting when we'll finish, and we want to make sure it's really finished before we release.
And you won't get disappointed. Okay.
Yeah. It's only late until it ships, but if it sucks forever. About half the game is underground in these underground dungeons, and half the game is overland in the overland areas. And you'll go between 3 different hub cities, and each one has different architecture and overland areas and underground dungeons surrounding it. So it's physically a much larger game than Torchlight 1 was. So we're going to release a full suite of modding tools, just like we did with Torchlight 1. They're the actual development tools that we use in the office to make the game, so they're very, very powerful. They're not the easiest things to use because they're not made for consumers, but you know, the determined modders will be able to change virtually any aspect of the game, whether it's the UI, the levels, the skills, the items, the balance of the items, the quests, everything is moddable.
Is it possible to customize your character? I mean, like the models itself?
Yes,
or
you'll even, if you're really ambitious, you'll even be able to make your own models with the 3D modeling program, and they have to conform to our rigging specifications. But if you do that, you can make entirely new characters.
How do you know the specifications? Is some kind of tool, or
you'll be able to study one of the existing models and see what bones are there and how they're put together. And you can even use one of the existing models to as a base to make your new character.
So you need some just for the models between us. Do you need some kind of plugin or I mean, when users want to use like 3D Max or Maya or Lightwave?
We use 3ds Max for it. Yeah. And some of these again are going to be very complicated for a consumer to be able to do. But some things are also very easy for a consumer to do. So you know, you will have all different levels of mods. You can see they've unlocked a boss here that's a very big, scary-looking guy.
So between the offline and the online mode, is it still one story, and with multiplayer you do the co-op, or how does it work?
Yeah, it's the basic structure of the game is the same. When you have multiple people in a game, we will bump up the difficulty of the monsters a little bit, and for people who are in your proximity, you'll share experience. Oh, for the items, you only see the items that are for you. You don't see the other players' items that drop, so there's no stealing of items or any rush to grab what's on the ground. Now, if you pick up something and it would be good for your friend, you can just throw it on the ground, and once you've taken ownership of it and you put it down, it becomes a public item that everyone sees. So we'll probably have a trading interface, but that's what we do right now. We just throw it on the ground. So there's no auction houses, no anything like that. It'll be a one-time purchase between $20 and $30. We don't know exactly where yet.
Is it online purchase, or can you just do a ship on a hard copy?
We are starting with online only, but there will be box versions available as well pretty quickly.
Online, I could think about Steam, something like that?
Yeah, Steam is our by far our biggest sales outlet, but we will also offer it on our own site if you, for whatever reason, don't like Steam.
Oh, I know a few people.
So now that we've finished, don't go into the portal. Well, as long as we finish this boss battle, let's quit out and load up, and we'll go to a different area entirely.
What I really like about the graphics is that when you see the game itself, like this picture, it's almost like it's directly from concept art. It's a little sketchy. It's a little brighter, colorful.
Yeah, it's we designed the art style basically to be low tech, so it doesn't require crazy shaders or anything like this.
So when I take myself for an example, I haven't really played the first one. I'm kind of interested in this one, so I'm a really new, fresh starter. How easy would it be for me to pick up the game and give it a go?
It's really easy. The control scheme is kind of an established ARPG control scheme where you click on the ground to move. Our basic interface theory is the left click does the obvious thing and the right click does the next most obvious thing. So if you just think like this, you'll be able to navigate the world and buy items and sell items and do all the things that you want to do. Yeah, it's very simple to pick up and play. So the level layouts are all randomized. So every time you play, not only is the physical layout different, but the monsters that you'll find are different. The random quests that you find out there will be different, and obviously every item is, you'll never see the same items twice. Okay. Yeah, and there are millions of items in game. We have non-optimized loading times right now, so this happens. This is in development. It's like making sausage. You don't want to know how it is.
We'll just play fast forward, and it will look very.
Oh, we were talking about the art style before. I was saying we made it low tech so that for several reasons. It's very important in an ARPG to keep your frame rate up all the time. It's the smoothness of it gives it the realism more so than reflection maps and bump maps and things like this. But so we want it to run smoothly on everyone's machine, including your old laptops and stuff. So we picked an art style that looks good without having to use fancy technologies and this sort of thing. But the other advantage is it also makes it easier for us to produce art and faster to make levels and things like this. So we can make a lot of content.
Yeah, so it's less complex to generate more material.
Exactly. We can spend more time making it fun and less time just putting stuff together.
So will there be in the future any more downloadable content or updates or more stuff to expand the game?
Well, since we're releasing the modding tools, the modding community will have a constant stream of new stuff that people can download and play and share. And we're gonna decide later whether we make an expansion or something like this, just based on what people want, And we have a very small team. Our whole company is 30 people, and we can only do one thing at a time. So we like to keep the future as open as possible, so we can adapt and change based on the changing conditions and what our players want. So next week we'll be releasing our new character class, but I will give you a tantalizing hint. You have seen it. Okay. You've already seen it, but we cannot reveal it.
Well, that's a nice job for you guys at home to figure out.